I had to turn it off for a second. Oh, I had a chicken fight going on. Boop was trying to go after her, and she's like, I'm gonna have none of that. And so she jumped at him and scared him. He stopped messing with her. I want to put the carabiner at. I don't know where I put it at. I had a carabiner on there and I pulled it off, and I don't remember where I put it at. Maybe it's in my pocket. That's where it's at. Come on, get on there, you damn thing. There we go. Back off, Boop. Alright, see where the mamas are. The two broody hens that are in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Puff up, big mama. Oh. Can't tell how many are. They're finally sort of staying in their own spot. They're not switching around or sitting on top of each other, because they put. Yep, she's still laying on the 5 or 6. They each got a mix of bantam chickens. They got some silkies underneath them, silky eggs, some frizzle frazzle eggs. And they might even have some other eggs underneath them, but that's hard to do it one-handed. I don't feel like fooling with them right now. Hi, Richard. He's still a dickhead. He's like, that's my name, Richard Cranium. Ooh, she puffed up pretty quick. We moved her from that coop there back over to here, because all the eggs that she laid on, only one hatched, and we saved it, and Jennifer helped it out, and it actually survived. And the other, she had one more egg before that one that hatched, I guess, or she stepped on it and cracked it open, and it didn't make it for whatever reason. And it looked like it had some kind of deformity to it. And then like 2 or 3 days later, when I was going to pick up all her eggs and get rid of them because none of them were hatching when they should have. So Sunday night or Monday, when they should have all hatched by then, I picked up all the eggs, and I ended up finding another dead one in there, a little baby, a little black colored one, and it was didn't make it for some reason. I don't know if she sat on it or squashed it or what happened. So I moved her over here with all of her, and I give her 4 or 5 green colored eggs, which are our Easter eggers, or Easter egger. So she's got that egg underneath her, or 4 or 5 of those, and you might have snuck some other ones underneath you. She's got one. She's got those. Oh, she snuck. You did. You snuck some more underneath you. Oh, here, have another one. So, she snuck 2 more underneath her. She steals them from the other ones when they lay up next to her and lay an egg, because there's not a divider. There should be 2 dividers. One for over here, there, and where she's sitting. But since she needs a little more room because she flattens out, they moved that divider that was next to her. But it looks like 3 eggs. Richard's looking at me like, what you doing over here messing with my girls? And he's watching, making sure that nothing, no funny business. He's a good rooster. He's never come. He's one time kind of chased me a little bit, but I didn't see him. She hollered, Jennifer hollered at him. Oh, I know he's running. She hollered at him, and he stopped, but he put his head down, fluffed his neck out, was getting ready to run at me. and she knocked him, told him to knock it off, and he, she stopped him before it happened. Go between this electric fence. But this is where I mowed at today. This is all real tall stuff, and this is where we found the first batch of feathers when we first lost our first chicken. We're all over here, but I cleaned it all up pretty good. We're gonna put that big coop's gonna go back in here somewhere. This is gonna be their area, and then we're gonna move this netting fence. We're gonna get rid of it, and probably gonna put in some more of this fenced in, the stuff that we got there over here for them. Put some electric fence between them, probably, because I've got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hot wires hooked up all the way around. I think the gate's got 7 or 8. I don't know if it's got all 9, but it's got a bunch for the gate handles that we've got, and we got the electro net running around. And then all of it's Gallagher stuff. I put all Gallagher stuff on here, except for that light. That's the electric fence light that we put on there. I had to kind of jerry rig it on here with zip ties, so I needed it on there in a hurry. And the S40 solar Gallagher that we have was not strong enough to run the fence, all this wire, and that electric fence light at the same time, because it ties into the fence right there, hooks onto it, and it ties onto a ground. It wasn't long enough, so I just knocked the ground rod in about 6 foot long, knocked it in about, I don't know, 3 foot, and then clamped it on there. And then I had to cut and splice the wires a little bit to extend them down to it. But inside this little deal here, to the manufacturer that makes these things here, and I think it's in Tennessee where they make them at, they call this thing the knocker, because inside this little window here, there's a spark gap. There's a wire here and a wire there, and it comes together real close, and there's a little screw to loosen up to move, I think it's this part, in and out, so you can adjust the gap. And then when you get the gap just wide enough to where, something was buzzing around me, you get the wire spacing just wide enough to where it's arcing, and you don't want it too close together, because the closer it is, the more it draws on the energizer. But you get it far enough apart that it's before it stops arcing, and that's where you want it at. And when you close it up, if that little hole there, you can see it, you can't see it inside there, but that's where it arcs and flashes at, and it makes popping sound inside there. Every time it pops and every it clicks and everything, that light up there's a nice big bright white light you can see from a good distance from all directions. That's why I put it on there, just because I could see it from anywhere I wanted to. I didn't have to face it a certain direction so I could see it. So if I was behind it or next to it or whatever, I could see it. And it's big white bright light. You can see it from the kitchen window flashing real good, and it flashed with every pulse. And so with all this fence and that thing on there, all the electro net and everything, I still get about 7,000 volts, 6,000 volts on the fence. In certain areas where the grass is touching the wire, you can't really, you can see a little bit, it's starting to burn that grass down, starting to kill the grass. So that's good, because I mean, it's a strong enough unit. Oh God, I gotta get all that grass off there. It's a lot. Drag the charger down, but it's a big enough unit that it covers all this stuff and then some. Oh, but yeah, Gallagher stuff's probably, I mean, I worked for them for 11 years, a little over 11 years, and they got the best stuff out there. The only thing I did not buy that was non-Gallagher was that fence light, just because I saw some videos online of it, and I was like, man, that's a pretty cool product. And you can see it from 360 degrees, not just from one direction like the Gallagher one does. You guys going to bed? I'm like, yeah. If you hadn't given us that scratch, we would have been to bed already. What are you doing, Colonel? go to bed. He's thinking about jumping up there. Oh, I know what I gotta do. They've knocked down their fence. This stuff. Ah, shit, that's what happened, Jennifer. Remember, we had those washers up there that were holding it. They've pulled loose. So I have to fix that. I think that's why he's having... Well, get in there, stupid. I need to fix that. Come on. Come on. Come on. I need to get those. They've knocked off all the little legs that were, or little things that went across there for them to grip onto. But I gotta fix that. I can't do it tonight, it's too dark. I don't want to fool with it now, but I'll do it tomorrow probably. There's little washers and screws up there, and we use that to smash against these things. This barrier net we got up here. So I'll have to. It's come off of almost all of them. There's 2 at the far corner there, and 1, 2, 3 right there. I need to put that up. The chickens are doing good. Got a lady coming tomorrow. I gotta meet up with her down at the Walmart area in Excelsior. Deliver 4 eggs to her. I had to buy a handful of more. When I extended this electric fence stuff, I had to buy a handful more of wire and this electric fence tape, and more gate handles, some of these 3-way gate anchors, because I ran out, and then it was on a late in the day, and it was on a Saturday, so I went down to the local Orscheln store and bought all that I needed. More ground rod clamps, because I couldn't find the ground rod clamps I had. I misplaced them somewhere. Put more these T-post insulators on here. These aren't the right one. I know I had them. I had some more of these black ones there. These are made for the electric fence tape. These ones and these ones are made for wire. But I said, what the hell, I'll just shove it through like that, and that works fine. That's all I had on hand. I think I have some of these black ones for the electric fence tape, but I didn't find them after I put all these white ones on there. And I went ahead and decided if I was going to put wire or tape, and I like that tape. I like the white tape better than the orange tape. It's the same damn thing, just color's different. But at nighttime, you can see this better. I think that helps out with those stupid foxes and everything else that comes around here. But one little trick I've seen to do, sometimes it's hard to get all this slack pulled out of this stuff sometimes. So what I do is I take them and I twist these. I kind of turn them, and it kind of pulls one way, and it pulls like the wire this way, and it pulls this one that way, and it pulls the slack out of it. So if you have to pull some slack out of the wire, you can just do that, and it pulls. Like, see that this wire right here, that's kind of loose. I can take it and twist like this, or whatever way you want to pull it, and it pulls that slack out of there. It doesn't have to be super tight. It's got to pull the slack out of it. So that's what I did, because I had these little ratcheting things that you put in line on these things, and they're kind of a pain in the neck. And it was I was like, man, I'm gonna get rid of those things, because you can only hold so much wire on them, and it's hard to unravel them because they bind up on you. So I got rid of them, and I was like, I'm just gonna do that. So that's what I did. God, that nose is running. I think it's the allergies. So there's that electric fence light flashing along. They got a couple of different styles that I saw, and I just got the smaller one. It was made for 2 output joules or less. And we've got probably 4 or 5 output joules with that one. But the bigger one I put on there, and I couldn't hardly see it flash. So I put the smaller jewel one on there, and it's hard to see in the video. It's hard to see. See it a little bit, but there's a LED type bulb thing, and it's pretty slick looking. So whoever this places that made these things, pretty cool. I had to move the wire off. I had it on the top one, but it was starting to burn through, or I had a bad connection or something like that. So I put it down here a little lower on this orange one and tighten it up. But you can kind of see it flashing inside there. No, you can't. But inside that little black thing is a hole. And that's where the sound comes from when it's arcing inside. But it's nice and bright. And you can see from all directions and everything. It's supposed to be mounted vertically when you put on a T-post, but I don't have the bracket for it. I didn't buy it. So I jerry-rigged it with the zip ties. And it should put it probably a little lower, but I didn't. But it probably scares with it being nice and bright white light, and then that little thing knocking at the bottom there. Ooh, see some working over here. It's arcing right there, but yeah, right there. I need a piece of wood. I'm not going to unplug it just to do this. There. I just moved it up and over the other side. I need to trim it off. I just cut it long because I was like, if I need to tie onto it or whatever, I'll leave some long. That's what I did with some of these other ones. Just leave them along. Well, it's working good. You can see the unit inside there flashing along. It does a good job. We haven't had any trouble with the stupid foxes. And a couple of days ago, what's today? Today's Wednesday. I think it was like Saturday afternoon or evening around like 7 o'clock. Probably about this, maybe a little bit lighter than this. The neighbor way across the hill up and over there, they've got some chickens that kind of crow and talk back and forth to the ones that we got over here. And I hear them making all kinds of racket, squawking, you know, just everything, crowing, getting rambunctious. And then I heard some people talking, saying, hollering something. And then I heard one of their donkeys making a bunch of racket. I was like, what the hell's going on over there? And then all of a sudden, oh, there's a little rabbit. I can't see him real well in the video, but there it goes. Hop, hop, hop away. And then I heard a gunshot. It sounded a little bit louder than 22, but it was just one gunshot. And then then no more noises from any of the animals. So I wonder if that fox went over there and messed with them instead of us, and then they saw it and put a cap in its ass. Bust a cap in its ass. But we didn't get too many eggs. We've you know, we're 2 chickens got taken. You know, 2 hens got taken, then we got 3 that are broody. So when they go broody, they don't lay an egg. So we got 5 chicken, you know, 5 eggs that could be laid every day that aren't being laid anymore. So we don't get very many eggs anymore. Oh, yeah, we don't get very many eggs anymore. Not until they stop laying on their eggs, which hopefully in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks or so, we'll have some more. Hopefully all those eggs will hatch, or a good chunk of them will hatch, and hopefully get a bunch of hens out of those babies. And we've also got 5 hens downstairs they're ready to come out of there. Just got to get everybody moved around and get that coop done. And then we'll move the 5 babies that are downstairs into their temporary coop that so we can slowly introduce them to the flock of birds that they'll have and everything. Then we'll have, that's 5. That'd be 8 more eggs that we'll get every day, or not every day, but every couple of days or so we'll get 8 more eggs. Once they start getting big enough to start laying eggs, and then we'll have what else will we have? It's a big ass tree. We'll have the 3 fluffy ones, the 5 downstairs. That's 8 more chicken eggs that will be laid, and hopefully I put 4 green eggs under what's her name just like over the weekend. So hopefully it takes about 21 days for the eggs to hatch once they're being sat on, and hopefully if they're all good and fertile, they'll turn into little chicks. And so we'll have those 4 eggs, which I think she's laying on like 5 or 6, but 4 or 5 of those eggs will hopefully hatch and be good chickens, good babies. And then we'll have the other, there's all those, I think there's a dozen little bantam chickens, and so there's another dozen eggs, possibly if they're all hens. And then there's the babies that are downstairs, the little ones that we just got. There's 6 copper morans, a little silky baby, and then a little yellow one everybody's calling a mullet because it's like smooth hair on top and a fluffy neck, so it looks like it's got a mullet. So that's what everybody's been calling it. But the little silky, the little yellow one that everybody's calling mullet, and 2 of the copper morans are gonna go with the lady. She's either showing up Friday late in the day or early Saturday morning. So, and she's taking our other rooster, Boop, the real colorful rooster. And then, and I think she's picking up like 2 or 3 chickens from somebody else that are, full-size chicken, full-size hens. That way he'll have some girls to kind of hang around with as the babies are growing up and getting bigger. But Jennifer saw their setup. I haven't seen that picture of it yet. Jennifer told me about it, but it sounds like it's going to be a really nice setup. They got like a 6-foot tall wood, fenced-in area with that not woven, it's woven, I guess, but it's the welded hardware cloth, and it's a real small hole, so nothing can really sneak its hands in there to get them. I don't know what they're putting over the top to so that way nothing can climb up the hardware cloth, even if it's 6 foot tall. Something can, raccoon, a possum, a fox, and probably could climb onto that thing, climb up it, and then get up and over in there, and then grab a chicken and climb back up and over. So hopefully they'll put something over the top of that to keep the. They may already have. I don't know. I didn't see no pictures of it, but hopefully they'll put something over the top of it so owls and hawks and foxes and everything else they can climb up and over or fly in from the top can't get in there and kill their chickens, because that's a aggravating thing when you come outside or whatever and you're missing 2 or 3 or 4 of them. You're like, God dang it! Especially when you have like a dozen chickens. When one kills like 2 or 3 of them, I mean, you've lost a third of your chickens or whatever. So, but yeah, you can see the light flashing from here. That little light flashing, that's an electric fence light too. As long as it's flashing, typically you're running okay. We haven't had any problems with it. And the Energizer we got on there, it's a Gallagher as well, and it's powering all through all that fence and that electric fence line. Like I said, I'm still getting about between 6,000 and 7,000. It dropped down to around like 5 when I had a bunch of grass on it before the grass started dying off and going brown on me and drying up. God damn it! Fuck! Shit! That was unexpected. They did that earlier today when me and my dad were out here. They sounds like a half stick of dynamite or a cannon going off. God damn! It's Jesus! I was sitting down with my dad's truck right down there with him when he got here earlier, and it went off, and I felt the concussion hit me in the chest, and fuck, I don't know what the hell it is. And there's a little puff of smoke. I can't see it in the video, but it's right there's a puff of smoke. I don't know what the hell they're doing.